Hello, explorers. Welcome back.
Okay, so today we're going deep diving, into this fascinating cultural thing happening over in Nagaland in Northeast India. And
Hmm.
we're going off this excerpt we've got called How K-Pop is Rewiring Nagaland's Youth Identity. And, it seems like there's this huge wave of K-pop that's been adopted by young people there.
Right.
And we kind of want to figure out, is this just like a trend that's going to fade away, or is this like something that's like really like down to the core reshaping who they are?
Yeah. I mean, looking at this excerpt, it really does seem like K-pop is everywhere, like completely like inescapable for a lot of these young people.
Right.
I mean, it talks about Kohima and Dimapur and how, you walk down the street, you hear the music, you see the fashion.
Yeah.
They're even using Korean words and phrases in everyday conversation. Like,
Yeah.
it's like they're really kind of steeped in it.
Yeah, I noticed that too in the article. Like they talk about how there's this noticeable shift away from more traditional stuff.
Right.
Like even just like, cultural touchstones. Like they were saying some of the younger people are more familiar with Korean pop lyrics and choreography
Mm.
than they are with like traditional Naga folk proverbs or warrior songs or these bamboo dances.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting. They said there's even a local language teacher
Mm-hmm.
who was saying that like students are like, less and less using traditional greetings
Yeah.
and more often saying like the Korean "Annyeonghaseyo."
Yeah.
Like that's so interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, it really seems like there's some serious cultural exchange happening.
Yeah, and I think that's what's making a lot of people nervous too, right?
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
in the excerpt, they talk about how tribal leaders are worried about this, what's going to happen to their language, to their culture.
Yeah.
Will the next generation even know their own heritage? It's not just about what music they like.
Right.
It's about, who they are.
Totally. And that was actually the next thing I wanted to bring up is that the excerpt, like it goes even deeper than just saying like, oh, this is about music or dance.
Yeah.
It's saying like maybe South Korea has kind of exported a whole identity
Right.
that people around the world are buying into. Like,
Yeah.
and obviously these young people in Nagaland are part of that.
They're really connecting with it.
Like, what do you think it is about K-pop that's like so appealing, do you think?
I think part of it might be what the excerpt was hinting at about feeling, kind of distant from mainland India
Yeah.
and maybe even marginalized by like the way Indian media portrays them.
Yeah.
Like, K-pop is super polished and it's, globally successful.
It's huge. Yeah.
And so maybe that's like an alternative to the way they often see Northeast India represented,
Right.
which can be
Right.
pretty stereotypical.
Yeah. Totally.
So maybe it's a way to like, represent themselves differently.
Yeah. And like belong to something bigger,
Exactly, yeah, like a global community.
So it's more than just, being a fan of the music or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like maybe it's saying something like I thought the excerpt implied that maybe it's like a response to being ignored or misrepresented.
Right.
Like maybe it's a way to connect with something that actually sees them.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point. And it makes sense if you think about like, the bigger picture,
Yeah.
globalization and stuff. Young people all over the world are looking for things that speak to their experience.
Yeah.
And K-pop, the way it looks, the music, the themes, the online communities,
Right.
it's a really compelling package, you
Yeah.
know?
For sure.
Like it's easy to see why they'd be drawn to it.
And that kind of brings us back to like the main question that the excerpt was getting at.
Yeah.
Which is, is all of this ultimately like a good thing?
Right.
Is it empowering for these young people to like connect to this global thing?
Yeah.
Or is there a risk that, it's going to like drown out their own local culture
Totally.
and, change their sense of who they are?
I mean, it's a super complex issue, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got global forces and local cultures kind of bumping up against each other.
Yeah.
And how these young people navigate that is really fascinating.
Yeah. And it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, this has been a really interesting deep dive into how K-pop is impacting young people in Nagaland.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
And for all of you listening out there, I want to leave you with this final thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as these global trends get easier and easier to access,
Right.
how do different communities all over the world find that balance between, embracing new things
Yeah.
and holding on to their own unique culture and who they are?
It's a question we're all going to have to face,
Yeah, it's going to be a huge issue moving forward for sure.
Totally.
So yeah, lots to think about.
Definitely.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
It's been fun.
Yeah, definitely. Take care.
You too.
See you.
Bye.